And then I beat it, and I was just like, oh, she gonna be pissed.
Like, I was just so upset.
And, like, I just saw your tear-stained face just stand there like,
with our
you beat it.
sandwiches, like, it's okay.
Well, hello, everybody. This is a special playthrough.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're doing World of Illusion, and we're doing a very unique setup with this one.
Which, if you've watched some of our previous playthroughs for different games, we kind of did hint at what we were doing.
Yeah, and we also did almost an unintentional test with this for a browser game, the Magic Cat Academy.
Yeah.
We did something similar. So this
I
is
miss
World
that
of Illusion for the... It was very fun.
I was good at that game.
You were very good at that game. Better than me. Couldn't allow that.
No.
I'm just kidding. So this is World of Illusion for the Sega Genesis. And the way we did this was I recorded my Donald run. You recorded your Mickey run.
Yes.
And we're just going to share our experience back to back. And then when this is all done, we're going to do a live, try to at least.
Yeah.
A live session of the co-op.
Yeah.
So it'll be the first time we play together on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting because I'm not very good and I could possibly kill you.
Yeah, you could get me killed. So it'll be interesting when, like, you're a direct influence on my success, how I'll react.
I'm a
Am I gonna
nervous.
be like, or am I gonna be like, damn it, woman!
Yeah.
Back to the depths with you!
Yeah, like, am I gonna be sent away? So, it'll be interesting to see.
Stay tuned.
That's for certain.
But this was one of the first games you played on my Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Because I figured, it's Mickey! It'll be
Yeah.
fun!
Yeah. I think you vastly underestimated how bad I really am at games. Because you were like, oh, this one is great. You did the same thing with, like, Aladdin. You were like, oh, it'll be fine. You know, I played that on emulation.
Mm-hmm.
And I, like, started the game and immediately died. And you were like, oh.
Oh. So yeah, each campaign are mostly similar with a few slight differences. But there was one level, and we'll get to it, that my campaign had that you saw and said, nope, sticking with Mickey.
It was the reason I didn't want to play as Donald Duck. And I was just like, yeah, absolutely not.
Because I gave you the choice. And this recorded run was the third time you played through World of Illusion, I believe.
It was the second time that I played through the entire way.
Oh, okay.
So it was the third time I'd played it, like, up until where I repetitively die and end up quitting because I get frustrated.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was technically, like, my second full run through.
Okay. And have your thoughts changed compared to the first run?
Oh, I still think Disney hates kids.
Ah!
Like, absolutely. There are certain
not wrong there.
aspects of the game that are just really challenging, where it's like if you were not in the exact correct spot, you take damage, you could die.
Okay.
Like, where I'm like, really? You couldn't just, like, let it happen?
Gotcha.
I think after playing through it a few times, because, listen, I died a lot.
Okay.
So I had to play through some of these levels, like, a lot of different times, and, like,
To
once
get familiar with them.
Yeah, once you know where everything's at, or you know what's gonna happen, it is a lot easier.
Okay.
But I feel like until you know, it feels really challenging.
Okay. And this was one of the games that you did not grow up with.
No.
You never owned this when you had a Sega Genesis.
No, we owned, like, 4 different games, and this was not one of them.
Okay. So you had the Lion King, though.
Yeah.
Which, for me, I feel like that is the hardest Disney game.
I never beat it.
I beat it once, and that was because I had, like, the Switch version.
Okay.
Which allows, like, save spots.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
And, like,
I
this
never
was, like,
beat it.
right
My
when
brother beat it.
lockdown happened, so I was just like, I'm gonna beat this game.
Yeah.
So, like, I consider it beating it, but it wasn't the original version to where
Yeah.
it's just like, you gotta start from the beginning and reach the end.
With 3 lives.
With
Good luck.
3 lives. Hopefully you can get lives along the way, but yeah.
But yeah, that was a big thing. Was I never beat it. My brother did beat it.
Oh wow.
I would get so far and then hand him the controllers for levels that I couldn't get. So I kind of like cheated a little.
So how do you feel about a return down memory lane with a first experience of The Lion King?
That could be fun. I can't guarantee that it will be safe for work. I have a mouth, that's for sure.
Oh, we know.
So
We've seen you play quite a few games now. We've had quite a few first experiences. And many more to come.
Alice was the only first experience that we played where I was genuinely like, listen, shut the recording off.
Yeah, like you were
like
upset.
I was mad.
Whereas like you cursed quite a bit in Zelda, but I think it was more like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it was more
like
it was just the claw game, to be honest. We're
oh yeah,
son of a bitch. Like,
and like the demon chickens.
oh my god, that was so
that
funny.
broke you.
Because I would like hit the chickens and you're like, hey, be nice to those chickens. And I'm like, well, why? Like, what's, they're just like non-playable chickens.
This part of the level took you a while to understand.
Not necessarily understand. Like, I knew that I had to stay on the web.
Mm-hmm.
It was more or less how the webs that like break,
yeah,
how they function, because I kept falling through.
Yes.
Like, I wasn't fast enough.
Yeah. So like they fall in the middle.
Yeah, so like you have to jump over the middle.
Mm-hmm. Because like as soon as you go through, there's no reaction. That's a death.
Yeah. So when it's like you're a little bit behind me right now.
Yeah.
But you also stop to get more things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I fell off of my little flower petal.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And like this is the ugliest spider boss I've ever seen.
It wouldn't be
like,
so bad if he didn't have fingers.
Yeah,
like,
that
why
is
does he
so
have hands?
weird.
He's like part frog. It's creepy.
Like he has the head of like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I know.
And he's got like little fingers, and I'm just
It's like a weird
"Ugh."
chimera spider.
Yeah, it's weird. Whereas like there's other Disney games that have a spider boss that like look more like a spider, which again, for my sister, it's just like, that's a bad thing. I'd prefer this spider where it looks kind of stupid. Like, it's so silly, I can't be scared of it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the point. But, like, I'm just like, ugh. What is that? Kill it with fire. Oh, it's hideous.
It's hideous. Yes, I would say for the most part, like, it was interesting because when we added up the total playtimes for each of us.
Uh-huh. It came close.
Yeah. I mean,
Because,
granted, like, we did edit out a lot of my deaths.
Yeah.
Because I died. Again, I died a lot.
Mostly towards the end, though. Like, right now, none of this is edited.
Yeah.
Like, this is
everything
that you've done.
I have a point in time where it's just like, I'm done.
Okay.
Like, I can play for so long and then I'm just done.
Okay.
Like, I needed a break, and I just wouldn't take the break that I needed, so I just kept dying.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, because that's kind of what happened, like, I stopped playing for that day, and, like, I went back to it I think it was, like, the next day or the day after.
Uh-huh.
And it, like, I might have died one or two other times, but for the most part, I wasn't so frustrated and so flustered that
Gotcha.
I couldn't do it.
Okay. Perfectly understandable. Oh, this is it. So this, like, little raging rapids on the leaf.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I would not play
You saw
as
this because
Donald.
it's like you have to be
I was like, no
so
thanks.
specific with your jumps because if you fall in the water, that's a death.
Yeah, I was just
And
like,
you
no, I'm
saw
good.
me struggle with that, and you're just like, nah, I'm doing Mickey. Because, like, and, like, this is kind of shitty of me to admit, but, like, the first time you played through World of Illusion, you kept dying near the end, and finally you just gave up. And I said, I'm going to start a file. And, like, 2 hours later, I was just done.
So mad.
And I was just like,
I was
oh,
so
wow.
mad. It was the first time that we had played, and I, like, made it all the way through. And I, like, so much so that I was in tears by the end boss. Like, there were tears on my face, and it was, like, one of the first times he had come over to the house.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed because I was so upset and so frustrated and so flustered about it that I was like, I'm just gonna go make lunch. And, like, had to go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, okay. And then, like, as I was cooking, you were playing it. And by the time lunch was done, you had beat the game. And it took me, like, 2 days. And I was so mad.
I just couldn't stop. I was just like, wow, this is actually going pretty good. Fuck. And then I beat it, and I was just like, oh, she gonna be pissed.
Like, I was just so upset.
And, like, I just saw your tear-stained face just stand there like,
with our
you beat
sandwiches,
it.
like, it's okay. It's okay.
But hey, eventually you did beat it, and you went on to beat quite a few other games. And not only have you beaten it, you've beaten it numerous times now.
Yeah.
And honestly, after our co-op run, you don't ever have to
I
play
won't
this game
ever
again
have
if
to
you
play
don't
it
want
again.
to.
It's like, again, it's not a bad game. It's just one that, like, you have to be good at jumping. You
Yeah.
know, it's a platformer game. So,
Yep.
like, you have to be good at jumping. You have to have good depth perception.
Balls.
Which I don't.
Got you.
Because that's, like, one thing that you would say all the time is, like, oh, well, you're just, like, you're jumping at the wrong time. Like,
Yeah.
you're not close enough. And I'm like, I can't tell that I'm not close enough. Like,
Gotcha. Oh, shit. I got greedy and I got screwed. Well, alright. See, now this is where you get the like, permanent lead. Because, like, I have to do this level and, like, you're at the boss.
yeah, but I think I died at this. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure this is one where
Well, this is an interesting boss. Like, the, like, 6 dragons.
But again, it's like my reflexes are just not
Shit.
there. So like, and you'll see it where like I jump too soon or I jump too early and it's like, just like right there, like I jumped way too early and
Yeah.
I was getting frustrated because I'm like, I don't understand why I can't do it. And it's just a matter of jumping too early.
Yeah, it's a timing thing.
So by getting a game over, I had to start all over again.
Yeesh. Come on, get out of here. I hate that damn bird. It always comes right when you're about to take that jump.
Yeah, get
I'm just
out of
like,
here.
Oh, no, you don't.
Those birds are so annoying.
Birds and flying enemies are the worst.
But it's really funny because, like, at this point, whenever the first time I was playing it when I was, like, dying a lot,
Yeah.
I would get really annoyed with things that are stupid to be annoyed about.
Okay.
Like how they run. Why are you so nervous about running, dumbass? Like, I would get mad at, like, stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're running, but they have, like, the panicked look on their faces as they run.
Mm-hmm. Like, whoa.
I'm just like, what's your problem? Like, I would get mad about it. And I'm like, well, that's such a stupid thing
All
to get
right,
mad
so
at.
not to gloat, but this is how you take on the dragon boss.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Watch your master at work.
I eventually got there. Okay.
So like right there. All right, that's not right. So you just kind of like walk towards him because he jumps back. Pow! Go through, jump back. Pow!
See, I did try that tactic, and then I just didn't get there in time, and then I got
okay.
blasted with a fireball.
Okay. But that's how it's done. And he never gets a chance to torch you.
It's cool. You know, I'll get there. It's cool.
I mean, the next level is my least favorite in the game. It is hard. Like, there's 2 points in this game that still, for me, and like, this is the difference. She's been playing for almost 2 years now, video
Yeah.
games in general. I've been playing for 30.
Yeah.
So like, I'd hope I'm the better gamer than you.
So,
Otherwise,
and
like, what is my life?
But it's really funny, though, because there is a big difference in, like, our gaming histories where, like, you grew up with video games and, like, you're very, very good at video games.
Yeah.
I more or less grew up with, like, arcade games. And I'm very, very good at arcade games.
Oh, yeah.
With the exception of the original Donkey Kong.
I
I had that one, like, great run where you're like, who is this? Where's Amanda? But,
Where'd she go? Who are you?
And then I got nervous and I just, like, sucked real bad. But whenever you, like, played with me on an actual arcade game, you were like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like,
You even kept up in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah.
It took you a while to be like, why do you have so many lives?
I know. I was like,
Just
are you
hit this
playing
button.
the start button? Like, you had like 30 lives. And I'm like, what's going on?
I didn't notice until I had like 10, and then I just hit the button and I saw 11. I was just like, well, how far does it go? I was like, oh, Jesus. And they're like, what's going on here?
Meanwhile, I'm over here like taking it seriously. I used my last life and I died. And I'm like, how are you still alive? Like, I'm definitely doing better than you. And then I look and you're like 30 lives in and I'm like, playing the start button. Okay.
Whereas, like, there was no codes to prevent my ass whooping from Mortal Kombat.
Oh no, that is my jam.
I think the only redemption I had was playing it on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And they were like, what the fuck?
You literally beat the shit out of me on a video game console. And I was just like, for sure.
You're like, oh, there's a crotch stab. I'll
like,
just spam that over and over again until he gets frustrated.
I was like, you take everything from me. Like, I was mad.
Yeah. To the point where you just, like, utilize the crotch stab.
Yeah, I was just like, just hit it where it hurts.
I'll just keep doing that repeatedly until he gets flustered. That'll work. But no, this level, because you can't attack. You just have to dodge.
See,
in
like,
this
this
little
level,
safety bubble.
Yeah, this level annoyed.
I don't like it.
Like, the water level annoyed me, but I'm actually decent at it.
Oh yeah? Alright. See, I don't like areas where, like, you can't attack. You just have to, like, dodge and evade.
I think there should be some sort of, like attack
this.
mode.
What the
because when that fish starts to follow
Go
you,
away. Like, it just becomes annoying. Go, oh, what, fuck. See, I get hit.
I'm hit.
Stop. Go away. Leave me alone.
That fish is like, are you going on an adventure to find your son?
Like, I went out of my way to get an extra life, and
that's
it's a
why.
moot point.
That's why. You leave that shit. Don't go and get that. You take so much damage trying to get that specific extra life that if you just, like, save your health points, you don't need the extra life.
Okay.
Because that's what happened the first time I played it. You were like, hey, go up here. And I, like, died trying to get the extra life. So by the time I got the extra life, it didn't even matter.
Yeah. No, you're right. And there we go. You beat the dragon. So now you get to join me under the sea.
Under the sea. They originally wanted to have Sebastian have, like, an English accent.
I remember hearing about that, yeah. Oh, under the sea.
I would have been so sad if he would have been like, Ariel, under the sea.
Under the sea.
Instead of like, Ariel, under the sea.
The seaweed is always greener in somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. In Kingdom Hearts, there's a moment where they, like, reenact that song, but, like, you have to, like, do button presses, sort of like a DDR in a way.
Oh, no.
And they actually have, like, Sora, Donald, and Goofy singing some of the lyrics. It is weird.
It's funny.
Like, I understand, like, they wanted to, like, shake up the repetitive gameplay, which for me isn't repetitive. It's very, like, cool action RPG addicting. But the point being, like, that was a weird choice to make Atlantica, like, a sing-along area. We'll get to it, but...
Dream about going. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this level for
the beach.
Donald, yeah.
Yeah, so Donald
because
goes
I
up on the
go-
beach.
yeah,
You
I
go
go
into, like,
under.
the caves. The ocean caves.
Donald's butt doesn't fit.
Exactly, so he gets jammed, so he has to go up on the beach. And you gotta ride the inner tube. Some of them will deflate, others will launch you into the air with a giant water spout. But, no, it's fun. I don't find it too challenging so long as you know, because they'll deflate immediately, and it's just like,
Again,
oh, okay.
It's like if
You
you
have
know what to
time.
happen, what to expect, then the game isn't quite as difficult.
Okay.
But until you know what to expect, it's just kind of like, well, how the fuck was I supposed to know that? Like,
Well, yeah, these games were very trial and error based. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, so that happened. Don't do that again. But, like, that was the mindset. It's
Yeah.
just like you trial and error, pop in more quarters, and learn from your mistake.
right.
If you don't learn, we're getting more money because you're putting in more quarters. That was what we learned from that documentary was
Yeah.
gamers got better to where, like, they were losing money.
Yeah, they had to make the games harder.
So that was how the first mod happened with Miss Pac-Man. They made the game purposely harder so they could make money again.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm waiting for you to catch
Come
up.
on. Come on. Go, 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 go.
I did my bit. We basically did, like, excuse me, points in the game where it's just like end the video sort of at this point at our 20-minute mark or whatever. So I was just like, all right, so that's roughly like the ghost ship.
Yeah, whenever it was like a good place to stop, is when we would like stop the recording. Just because it'd be weird if you're like mid-battle and just like stop the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's not fun. So here we go. These are your, like, aquatic caverns.
I do absolutely love the starfish, though. I think they're hilarious because
yeah?
they literally just launch themselves at you, like belly first. They're like, ah! And then they, like, turn into shrimp. But, like, how funny is that the starfish are just, like, throwing themselves at you? Like, it's just funny. I didn't like this part.
The clams.
Yeah, because it's all about timing.
Yeah,
so, like,
you have to jump on the clams because if you're under them, they'll technically slam and pinch you.
Yeah.
That is very common in games. Like, the whole clam mechanic is just like...
Well, it's like, so
snap.
basically, like, what I did to just get through it was I would let the clam pinch me and then just run across the spikes and try to, like...
Use your invincibility frames.
Get as far as I can while
Gotcha.
I'm, like, damaged, basically.
I mean, that is a legit strategy, is, like, use your invincibility frames to just, like, dash through the next obstacle. Yeah. Very common. But the SpongeBob game is like that. It has those clams that, like, open and close, and you have to jump on them, not within them. I prefer this game over the SpongeBob game because you lose all your spatulas when you get hit. Mm-hmm. It's very, like, Sonic-like. All right, and we'll talk about that more in the next part.
Toodles!